Lie 4. Cheaper bills.
Right, I have a problem with this, and it comes back to the more support for public services. On one hand, they're saying, yeah, we're going to keep the cost of your bills down. So that, again, is tax. That's what they're referring to. So that is your council tax, that is tax on the goods that you buy. Now, okay, it's not a terrible thing that there is an attempt to keep the cost down for the consumer. However, this is all the money that goes back into the NHS, supposedly. This is all the money that goes back in to your public services. So if you're keeping the costs down but letting inflation rise, then there's less money circulating, there's less money coming back to go back into public services. So you actually, within the space of 2 paragraphs, contradicted yourself.
Very much so.
Well done.
Nice. And also, something else they've put in this bit about bills, they then mention at the end that staying in the UK would keep future energy bills up to £189 a year lower. That's rubbish. Because the energy companies don't answer to the government. I mean, they're private companies. They compete with each other. They don't charge what the government tells them to do. The gas and electricity companies work for themselves. They're privatised. And they set their prices and they work against each other to make profit. So to suggest that if we vote yes, we'll suddenly have to pay even more for our gas and electricity, that's rubbish. Those two things are not even connected, because the government don't set the gas and electricity prices. The government, at the moment, the UK government, won't do anything. I mean, they've been told that they should try and do something about the ever-increasing gas and electricity prices. And they did recently. There was a story in the news a couple of weeks ago where they were talking about the fact that wholesale prices for gas have come down. So the gas and electricity companies, they're not having to pay as much to buy in the gas, but they're not passing those savings on to their customers, which is fair enough, because they're private companies that are in to make profits for themselves. And the government then said, but you know, you probably should pass on the profit, but you really should do something about it. And that's it. So to suggest that they have any power over the gas and electricity prices is, again, hogwash. And finally, my favourite one that I keep hearing, Gary Lineker kept saying it during the Commonwealth Games coverage, just says simply, best of both worlds. That's it. That's
of both worlds.
That's
I haven't actually read this.
That's another way. That's another way you'll benefit. Is
best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds.
Okay.
It says the Scottish Parliament already decides important matters like health and education, and more powers for Scotland are guaranteed. Now, that is a load of crap. I'm sorry, I know that's a kind of swear word, but that's crap. They've written that. It's in writing. More powers are guaranteed. Where? Where are they guaranteed?
Yeah.
When it comes to September and you vote, do you want independence? Yes or no? You're not given, because the government were given the choice to have Devo Max.
That's what I was just about to say, yeah.
And they said no. And that would have been, if you voted Devo Max and that was an accepted thing you could vote for, you would be voting for more powers. But you're voting simply for yes for independence, no to independence. Guaranteed more power. Over what? They've not said, because they don't want to give us more power. In fact, only last week, the Scottish Secretary, Alistair Carmichael, look this up in the news if you don't believe me, Alistair Carmichael said in the news last week that in the event of a no vote, the London government, UK government, should make its presence even more felt in Scotland. The voice of the UK government should be heard louder and stronger in Scotland after a no vote. Now that to me does not sound like a government that's going to give us more power. If anything, it sounds like they want to teach us a lesson for having the audacity to even contemplate independence, to even contemplate wanting a say in how our own country's run. They want to take some of the power we already have away from us. So this actually, in writing, saying more powers are guaranteed, that's not true. They're not guaranteed because nothing has been written down. Nothing has been promised. It's just vague. David Cameron was in Scotland a couple of weeks ago and he said, yeah, well, we'd like to give this. We'd like to. There's some great ideas. Where are they, Dave? You haven't specified what these powers are. You tell us what these powers are. You make them. You actually write them down, make them legally binding, and then you can write that and say more powers are guaranteed. Because at the moment, they're not guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. The whole Better Together campaign is all about this might happen and this might happen if you vote for independence. But they're saying you might get more powers. They're doing the exact same.
I think this sort of shows, though, this very last point, it shows like just how much the Better Together campaign is clutching at straws. And something I find quite comforting and something that I quite like, regardless of how the vote turns out in September, fingers crossed for a yes, but I think it sends a message to a big government that if you don't represent your constituents, if you don't represent the people that elect to vote you, any opportunity that they have to seize that power back, they will take it. And
I think it could send a worldwide message to big governments that think that they can do what they want to the populace and they'll do nothing about it. And it's a real chance. I mean, it feels like a real positive movement and a chance to seize some fairness and some justice, and I'll use my Obi-Wan Kenobi, some democracy, right? Because we don't have democracy. But this best of both worlds is just rubbish. I'm sorry, it's rubbish. We are not guaranteed anything if we vote no. The only thing I can guarantee you if we vote no is
more of the same.
You'll more of the same.
Yeah.
You'll get the Tories for another 5 years, probably with the UKIP. And if you don't get the Tories this time, you'll get them 5 years down the line. Even if we don't vote for them in Scotland, you'll still have them in charge with their austerity measures.
Yeah.
It'll happen. So, more powers for Scotland if you vote no. That's garbage. The only way to guarantee more power for Scotland is to vote yes.
Yeah.
The only guaranteed more power for Scotland is to vote yes. So please, don't listen to these scaremongery, fear tactic,
scary ghost wigaboo.
Scary ghost wigaboo noise. It's like ghost stories, some of it. I mean, I'm waiting for the final, because we're coming into the last 6 weeks of this now. I'm expecting, people to say like, oh, if you vote yes, Alex Salmond will decree that the grass will have to be dyed blue, and you'll have to wear kilts to school, and everyone will be speaking Gaelic in 2 years' time. None of these things are true. It's just this is all. I think
Scotland's going to be renamed Caledonia.
It'll be called Salmond Land.
Salmon fishing in
It's just, it's so smacks of desperation. The fact that that's all they've got. I mean, that is literally that's what they've got. There's nothing. There is nothing in this brochure that says here is why Scotland will become a better country, because it won't become a better country because you're not going to improve anything. You're going to leave things as they are. And if you think things are fine as they are with the Conservatives ruling us from London, then that's fine. That leave things as they are. Best of both worlds, better the devil you know. But if you're like me and Paul and many, many people across the country now, if you're not happy with the way things are and you have a yearning for change, the only way to vote is to vote yes, because you're not going to get guarantees of anything from the Better Together side. Well, you're getting guarantees of more power. You're not. All you're guaranteeing is more of the same, more cuts, more Tories, more corporate breaks for big companies. All this stuff that people in Scotland generally don't agree with. So, better together, better not.
So, we've just spent the past couple of minutes just scrolling through this. 5 paragraphs of why we should stay together. 5
very short and kind of untrue paragraphs as to why we should stay together.
In summation, keep the pound, a non-starter of an argument. More support for public services is a lie. One economy, more jobs, tripe. Cheaper bills negates the second statement.
And also the stuff about the gas and electricity, not in control of the UK government anyway, tripe.
Absolutely. Best of both worlds, pants.
Yeah.
Okay? Now this is the supporting statement that came through in the very, very same day.
One page. It's a lot pictures and your 5 points.
Yep. 5 points which don't have a lot of substance in them. Now we haven't gone through this in any
I've also
detail.
seen most of that before already.
Can you hold that up just one more second? Very same day, this came through. Now this is just a rundown of why independence is a good thing.
And this is not a leaflet. This is like a magazine.
Yeah.
There's many pages
there is
to this.
Substance to this.
There's staples in it.
There is.
They need staples. And I'm not saying that's why you vote yes, because they use staples. But there's so much in there, they needed staples.
Yeah, not only that, I'm just picking a random page, all the ingredients for a successful independent country, and it's not just what they think. They're quoting people. Source, Standard Poor Credit Ratings Agency. Source, Financial Times, 2nd of February 2014. I'm not even going to tell you what I'm saying, because you need to read this.
You've got this.
It'll be through your door.
Everyone has had this in their house. I mean,
Okay.
I urge you to. I mean, we've kind of done it for you because it didn't take long. Read that, but please read that as well, because it's filled with substance and genuine. I mean, look at it.
And it's backed up fact. That's the thing that gets me. I mean, this is backed up fact.
Scotland's future. It's
That's
positive.
right.
It's positive. Negative. Positive. Negative. Positive. Negative. Aren't positive and negative. They're kind of.
Well, they
they
cancel
repel each other, don't they?
No, they cancel each other out. So what?
Oh, that's right. So they do. That's right. I don't know my physics. I got B in my higher physics, and I don't know that positive and negatives cancel each other. I thought they were attracted. It's opposites attract. No, that's a Paul Abdul song. Right. Anyway, do you remember that song?
Magnetism.
Opposites attract. She did a video with MC Scat Cat, who was a cartoon cat. I know that sounds a bit dodgy.
It does.
It's great.
It sounds like an incontinent cat.
It does a bit. Anyway, we shall leave that there for now. That's the end of the second episode. Can you believe it? 2 episodes already.
And we haven't even bothered to change our clothes.
No, we're in the same. I mean, clearly we've done this in a different day as the first episode. We only have 1 T-shirt each. So every time I do this, I'll be wearing my Boba Fett Sarlacc pit T-shirt, and Paul will be wearing his T-Rex T-shirt. If there's anything you want to ask, any questions you have, ask away.
If there's something you want to argue with us about, though,
Please.
point us in the right direction.
Well, we did say that in the first episode.
Yeah.
We welcome. I don't welcome arguments, because I'm not an argumentative type.
No, what we want is a debate, a healthy, stimulated debate.
I'd like to debate, and I'd like people to present good, not that scaremongery stuff about the pound, the passport, the pensions, rubbish. Genuine arguments for staying together. I would like to hear them, and I'd like to have a chance to answer the questions that people have and debate with people, because I said this in the first episode, there's not a lot of debate coming from the Better Together side. It's either you get shouted down or you get told that you're a nationalist, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I find, just to end on this note, the nationalist thing, I mean, we're hearing the word nationalist more and more just now, which is dangerous because it has connotations of the Nazis, basically. That's what it makes you think of. It makes you think of Hitler and the Nazis. And the problem I have with the nationalist thing, the only side that constantly, in all their broadcasts and all their footage, constantly say, I'm proud to be Scottish, but I'm also proud to be British. It's the Better Together side. You don't hear people on the yes side going, I'm a proud Scot, and that's what... It's nothing to do with that. Right? It's much, much more than being a proud Scot or proud to be Scottish. It's not even about being Scottish. It's about living in a country that has a say in its own destiny. Doesn't matter where you're born. If you live in Scotland and you're born in England, or you're born in India, or you're born in Poland or Romania, doesn't matter. Everyone that lives here should have a say in how this country's run. Right? It doesn't matter if you're a proud Scot, if you're proud to be British. It's nothing to do with that. That's
So
an
essentially
irrelevance.
what you're saying is, in an independent Scotland, I'm still allowed to hate bagpipes.
You are indeed.
Thank God.
You are indeed. But that's just a lifestyle choice, Paul. So anyway, we'll see you next time on Ask Indy. Adieu. To you, and you, and you.
You could vote yes, you could vote no. You could pretend that you still don't know. I will suggest, I might even confess, what will be best is if you vote yes.